Hello students, how are you? Hope you are all doing well. Mathematics is a science of art and art of science. So, now let us come and enjoy doing maths. Now I am going to give you two questions. One is, what is 10 plus 4? Oh, is it so easy? You are all laughing? Yes, say the answer. Yes. Is there any other answer? Yes, I have an answer. I will say that 10 and 4 will add to 2. Do you accept it? Yes, I hear someone is laughing, but it is a true statement. Now, we are going to enter into the world of clocks, that is clock world. See this analog clock. This is a 12-hour clock. Now, we are going to start a work at 10 o'clock. After 4 hours, that is we are going to add 4 with this. So, what will we get? Yes, after 4 hours, we will be reaching 2 o'clock. So, after 10, if you go 4 hours forward, we will be getting at 2 o'clock. Yes. Now, I am going to pose you one more question. That is, what is 5 plus 5? Yes, you are all correct. 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. But I have another answer which says 5 and 5 will add up to, my answer is 3. Do you accept it? Yes, you are thinking, I think. But this is not in this world. We are going to enter into the calendar world where we are naming days of the week as numbers starting from 0. Now, we are going to name Sunday as 0 and 1, 2, 3 and so on up to Saturday. So, we will be getting numbers from 0 to 6. Now, I have said that add 5 with 5. See, 5 is named. Which day is 5? Yes, this is Friday. After Friday, if you go on 5 days, so we have to add 5 with this, which will you say 10? Yes. So, here is 10, which is Wednesday, and that Wednesday is given the number 3. So, after 5, if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we will be getting the day which is numbered 3. So, am I right now? Yes, you are accepting. See, in daily life, we are coming across some situations which wrap around some numbers. Let me say an example. Yes, this analog clock, and also we have seen digital clock which wraps around, yes, 24 hours. And then is there any cyclic process you come across? Yes, days of a week. Yes, we have seen just now. And then in the calendar itself, we have one more thing, months of a year, which wraps around 12. And day and night, life cycle of a butterfly, seasons of the year, and so on. So many things around us are there which wrap around a certain number. So this process of wrapping around a certain number is called as modular arithmetic. Now, we are going to learn a new arithmetic which is not a normal arithmetic, which is called as modular arithmetic. This modular arithmetic is being developed by Carl Friedrich Gauss, a German mathematician. We have to thank him for many reasons, because this modular arithmetic will give you larger number as very smaller one. Now, what is modular arithmetic? It is a process, that is cyclic process of wrapping around a number, a certain number, for example 7 or 12. Then in this modular arithmetic, we are not going to use the word equal to. We are not going to say that two numbers are equal in modulo. So, in modular arithmetic, we will be using congruence. So, if two numbers named by A and B are congruence, we are going to use this symbol or notion called congruence, modulo M. This modulo or mod simplified is called as modulus. That is, what is modulus? The number with which we divide this number. An integer with which we divide these integers is called as modulo. That is, this m is always positive integer. Why? Because this, what is this m? This is the modulus with which we divide. See, we have come across so many life processes which are natural. So, this modulus also should be a natural number, or we can say that as positive integer. M should be a positive integer, and we read this as A is congruent to B mod M. Okay? So, keep this notation in mind. We are going to see what this notation mean. If we write A is congruent to B, A and B being integers, mod M, which is a positive integer. We can mean this as, in the words of Gauss, he says that the difference between A and B is a multiple of M, is a multiple of M. What do you mean by multiple? We are going to take it as integral multiple, that is Km, where K is an integer. So, the difference between these two numbers is an integral multiple of this modulus. This is the meaning of congruence modulo. Now, we can say that A and B are congruence modulo M if they differ by an integral multiple of that modulus. Now, as we say that modular arithmetic is a cyclic process, you can think that whether the cycle moves only forward and also backwards. Yes, your thought is right. We can come backwards also. So, let us move forward and then let us come backward. See, in this clock, let me take the same clock and have a forward rotation. Now, we are going to start with 0, that is at 12 o'clock. At 0, we are starting a work. It goes up to 3 hours. So, we will be reaching 3 o'clock. Yes. Then, let us start another work at 0 and move for 15 hours. We are doing a great job which goes around 15 hours. So, the clock will reach 12, 13, 14, 15. So, it phases 3 again. Okay, now let us take another example. Somebody is working from 0, that is 12 o'clock, and he is working for 27 hours continuously, like Edison. Okay? So, he will move, yes, round the clock work, yes, very good. So, this is 24, 25, 26, 27. So, the same phase is got now. Now, you are going to say what is 3, 15, 27, all are congruence. Very good. All are congruence. For the modulo, yes, 12. Very good, very good. So, you understood what a congruence modulo is. So, if you move forward, we will be getting, yes, how do we get the next number while we move forward? Yes, what happens? 3. And then, yes, 15. How do we get 15? Relate with this congruence modulo. Yes, this is 12. Yes, very nice, very nice. So, you have, yes, you have got the pattern that you are adding 12 again and again to get the same congruence modulo 12. So, we have to move forward, that is, we have to add the modulus to get the next congruence numbers. All numbers belong to a same congruence class, that is 3, 15, 27. If you go again, yes, say the next number, 39, and all are belonging to the same congruence class, which is named after the least positive integer, or we can say that least non-negative integer. So, here the least non-negative integer is 3. So, we have to say that those numbers are congruence and they belong to the congruence class 3. So, we can say that 3 is congruent to 15, which is congruent to 27, which is again congruent to 39, and so on. We have to write the modulus, then only the sentence becomes meaningful. So, these are all are belonging to the same congruence class, which is named after 3. Okay. Okay, what happens if we move backwards? Okay, let us start again from 0 because that is the base. So, we are going to start with 0. Yes, moving backwards means, yes, very good. We have another name for that, that is anti-clockwise or counterclockwise. So, if you move backwards, that means counterclockwise. If you move forward, that is clockwise. As this is a clock arithmetic, moving forward becomes clockwise and moving backward becomes counterclockwise. So, we have to start with 0 and move backward. So, if you move 1 hour backward, we will be reaching 11. Moving backward means minus, yes, negative. So, we can say that how many numbers we moved backward? Yes, see, how many numbers from 0? Only 1. So, minus 1 is congruent to 11. Yes, very good. So, minus 1 is congruent to 11. And then, if you move backward up to 3 numbers. So, from 0, 1, 2, 3, 3 numbers, we will be getting 9. So, we can say that minus 3, as we move backward, we have to use the symbol negative, is congruent to 9 for the same modulo 12. Okay. Now, you could have understood what is moving backward and moving forward. As we are only dealing with the division, that is, we are dividing and we are getting the remainder, yes. So, is there any lemma, is there anything we have learnt about division in the last class? Yes, you can recall, yes, division lemma. What is the first word? Euclid's division lemma. So, Euclid's division lemma. What is the connection between modular arithmetic and this Euclid's division lemma? So, we are going to see that. So, we are going to relate, as this is dealing with the division and this is a division lemma, we are going to relate these two. Yes, say in your own words, say what you have learnt in Euclid's division lemma. 2 integers will be there. Yes, they will be related using an equation, yes, linear equation. What type of equation is that? Yes, let us take 2 integers m and n. So, m and n are the 2 integers we are going to take. As m is a letter we give to, yes, modulo, I am going to write n as a dividend. So, n is equal to, yes, relate with a is equal to b cube plus r. Yes, this is n is equal to m cube plus r, that is all. N is equal to m cube plus r, where name all these m and n or n and m are the integers we have taken. And then what about q? Is a quotient, yes. What is the remainder? R. Now, we are going to subtract r both sides, which says n minus r is equal to m cube. As m is a number we have, I am going to say that this is q times m. This is q times m. So, as quotient is always an integer, we can say that this is an integral multiple of m. mq is the integral multiple of m. Yes, we have just now seen this word, integral multiple of m. The difference between these two is an integral multiple of m. Then we can arrive at the modulo. Yes, we can say that n is congruent to r modulo m. So, this is how we get a connection between Euclid's division lemma and modular arithmetic. That is, we can replace any number with its remainder of division by the mod. So, we can replace any number, keep that in mind, with the remainder of division by that modulus. So, we have seen for this becomes wrapping around, that is cycling. We can say that so many numbers have the same remainders because only some numbers are the remainders. Up to m minus 1 remainders, that is there are only m remainders for any number, for any infinitely large number we will be yes, making it shrink up to m. Say, so there are so many solutions in this modular arithmetic. That is, we get so many numbers which have the same remainders. So, we have seen so many things, that is 3, 15 and yes 27 are all congruents in the modulo 12. So, we can arrive at so many solutions. Keep that in mind, because while solving you should not stop with only one solution. We have so many solutions. This is the difference between normal polynomial equation and the modular arithmetic congruence. Okay. Now, let us see what are the meanings when you say A is congruent to B mod m. Let us take an example, easy example in mod 10. Okay, let me say 41 is congruent to, say any number. Yes, which should be congruent? Yes, 11. So, 41 is congruent to 11 modulo 10. So, see this, we have so many meanings in this. That is, if you subtract 41 minus 11 should be a multiple of 10. Let us see. Yes, this is 30, which is 3 into 10, that is the multiple of 10. So, that is one meaning. The other meaning is 41 is 11 more than the multiple of 10, or you can say A is B more than the multiple of m. So, let me check. 41 is 11 more than a multiple of, yes, multiple of 10, that is also true. So, 41 is 11 more than a multiple of 10, that is A is B more than the multiple of m. This is another meaning. One more meaning is there, that 41 and 11 give the same remainder when they are divided by 10. So, what is the remainder when 41 is divided by 10? Yes, 1, and 11 the same 1. So, that is the other meaning. So, when 41 is divided by 10, the remainder is 1, and when 11 is divided by 10, the remainder is same 1. One more meaning is there for congruence. Let us take another number, which is 40 is congruent to 0 mod 10. That means, when 40 is divided by 10, it gives a remainder 0. That means, 40 is a multiple of 10. So, let us change this as A is congruent to 0 means, for mod m, A is congruent to 0 means A is the multiple of m. Okay, these are the meanings we come to know while we say the congruent symbol. Now, let us move on to the operations of modular arithmetic. So, while we learn any arithmetic, we will be learning any system of arithmetic, we will be learning their operations. Now, we are going to enter into the operations which make our work very easy. See, let me take a number 23 is congruent to 1 mod 11, and one more thing I am going to take for mod 11 itself is, let me take 15 is congruent to 4 mod 11. You accept it? Yes, while you divide 15 by 11, you get the remainder 4. So, that is the meaning of this statement. And here 23 when divided by 11 gives a remainder 1. So, you understood the statements. Yes. Now, what we are going to do is, let us add the left side of the congruence. So, adding left side we get, yes, 38. Adding right side we get 5. Is there any relationship between these two numbers? See, for the same modulo 11. If you divide 38 by 11, the remainder is, yes, 5. So, it is congruent to 5. So, if you add these congruents, we get the same congruence. That is, if you add the numbers and get the remainders, that is the same as getting the remainders and adding the numbers. Let me repeat. First, if you add and then get remainder, that will be somewhat more complicated than getting the remainders and adding, because getting the remainders we get very small numbers, addition is very easy. So, we can follow this. Instead of adding the numbers and getting the remainder, we will be getting the remainders and adding them. So, this is the property of modular operation, which can be said as if A is congruent to B and C is congruent to D for the same mod, we are going to refer to the same mod now. We can add these two as A plus C is congruent to B plus D for the same mod. This is the first operation, that is first property of addition. What happens to subtraction? Let us move on to subtraction with the same numbers. Okay? See, let us subtract 23 minus 15. So, that is, yes, say the answer. 23 minus 15 is 8, and if you subtract, we will get minus 3. Let us check before going into congruence, we have to check. So, what shall we check? Now, it is in negative symbol. If you go forward to get the least non-negative number, we have to add this number to this. So, add minus 3 plus 11, yes, 8. So, these are congruent. So, for minus also this works great. So, A is congruent to B and C is congruent to D. Mod M means we can subtract A minus C is congruent to B minus D for the same mod. What happens if you multiply? Okay. So, let us check for another number, because you may feel, okay, let me check with the number 11 is congruent to, for mod 3, what is 11 congruent? Yes, the remainder is 2. Okay, for the same mod, let us have another number, which is 7 is congruent to 1. So, let us go for multiplication. This side it goes to 77, right side it is 2. Let us check for mod 3. While you divide 77 by 3, yes, the remainder is 2. So, it works great for multiplication also. So, that is what I mean to say is, if you want to multiply two numbers and get the modulo, it is easier to follow first get the remainder and multiply. That is why our sums become so easier. See this sum. So, I am going to ask you a question. What is the remainder if this number is divided by 6? So, what a great number. So, no need to add all these numbers and divide by 6. What should we do? Now, we are going to divide this number by 6 and get the remainder. No need to divide. See, on seeing you can say that this gives a remainder 3 on dividing by 6. So, 3 and then you are going to add. So, 6, 6, 6, 1. So, the remainder is 1 and then you are going to add 6, 0, 6. So, it is divisible by 6. Only 2 is a remainder and 6 not 3, 3 is a remainder. Just adding all these. So, add all these and get the modulo 4, 6, 9. So, what is 9 congruent to modulo 6? So, 9 is congruent to 3. So, you can say that while you divide this number by 6, you will get 3 as remainder. So, that is the answer. And let us see this question. What is in the unit place of this product? So, we are multiplying greater numbers. So, how will you multiply and say the answer in a minute? Yes, now we can check. See, what is in the unit place? That is, unit place means remainder 10. Remainder on dividing by 10. So, here 2 is a remainder and here 3 is a remainder, here 5 and here 1. So, 2 into 3, 6, 6 5s are 30, 30 into 1, 30. You divide 30 by, yes, you got the answer 0. So, the unit place of this number is 0. So, let us check with this. So, here it is a great number of subtraction. we are going to find the remainder when you divide this number by 4. See first number, see this number, while you divide this number by 4, we will be looking at the last 2 digits, that is the divisibility of 4. So, 43. While you divide 43 by 4, the remainder is yes 3. So, while you divide 16 by 4, the remainder is yes 0. So, you can subtract the remainders as 3 minus 0, which is 3. Our answer is got within seconds. Now comes the number 12 into 12 into 12 into 12. You can put so many 12s. Okay, let me have only 4 12s now. The question is, what is the remainder when you divide this number by 10? So, first see 12. Yes, it gives remainder 2. Gives remainder 2. So, 2 power 4. So, you can get another property, that is exponentiation. So, you can say that 12 power 4 can be got as, what is the modulo of 12? Yes, 2. We have to give the congruent sign, power 4 in mod 10. So, the answer is 2 power 4 is 16. Yes, while you divide by 10, you get the remainder 6. So, the answer is 6. That is, if you divide this whole number by 10, you will get the remainder as 6. This cannot be calculated even in the calculator. So, that is how we do all the larger complicated computations so easily using modulo. Now, in the next class, we will be seeing the next exercise. Let us see some more sums based on this modular arithmetic, based on the properties in the next session also.